display for a pay for admission and gift shop. And it didn't work very well. The couple were officially to not live in the house, but we suspect towards the end as their income got more and more marginal. They were a younger couple. They loved heritage and they're trying to keep it going. But we suspect they kind of probably did live in the house unofficially. And you had more open display, house chest. And then, I need the date for this. We did our first online exhibit on the history of Thunderbird Park, 2006. We had a grant from, a digital grant from Heritage Canada to do the first interpretation of Thunderbird Park. It was $250,000 to be done in French and English. It was done in Flash, which was a big mistake because you have to be an expert in Flash to make editorial changes. And our expert had moved on to do Flash sites for the Arctic. They were a contractor. And when you're in Flash, you don't show up in Google's search engine, so nobody knew we had a $250,000 website. Which is where I learned to never trust the latest and greatest software technology. Go with the mainstream tried and true. Because cutting edge also has a joke within software land called bleeding edge, where you tried something, but 3 months later everybody dropped it and they got the next new software package. But what's important about it, we did three-dimensional objects that you could spin around, like the chair. We selected some of those and put them on a giant turn thing and took photos and spliced them all together. And we did fairly good work on the Thunderbird Park totem poles, the contractor that we worked with, so you can slide up and down the poles and see things. And there's great footage of events in the Longhouse that's up there. But for Helmcken House, what's important is the descendants of Ainsley Helmcken, the other branch of the family, who lived over at Cook Street and never lived in the house, came into the house as children. But again, so there's Mary, who's passed away, and Jim Helmcken, who's still with us, are among the last Helmcken named descendants. There are McTavish lines of the family descendants. And we interviewed them about the house. The website is still as part of our online exhibits, and if you go through the different time periods, there's different material in the house under each time period. So you toggle onto it and it goes in, and you have different material in each room. So if you go to Lake Park, Ainsley Helmcken in a black and white movie is taking you on a tour through Helmcken House. If you go in the present part, you get to talk to hear Jim Helmcken talk about his memories of being a child visiting the house. So if you go to the website, don't just pick one time period and click on the house, you'll find more information. One thing that throws people is St. Anne's doesn't arrive till 1975, so it's in the modern part, not back in the time period when it was constructed. Because it wasn't in the park, it was over the way. Maybe it should have been in an earlier. And each totem pole, each longhouse has information, movies, all sorts of content in there. And there's activities and things to do with the medical collections and material on there.
So what website would we get that on?
If you go to our website.
I was going to show that after you're done. We could just pull it up and I'll show you.
Yeah. But it is still there. Older software, sometimes it gets glitchy. But it's pretty good. But you know, just because you build it doesn't mean they come. They couldn't find it because it wasn't in Google. And we did teacher resources for school programs. I really liked it, and particularly St. Anne's, because it's the delivery of primary Francophone colonial material to the Francophone schools in BC and throughout Canada, if they choose to use it. Let's make that. So I'm almost done. One of my favorite photos, Dr. Helmcken late life, and as somebody interested in the building itself, a nice view of the original foundations, which were crumbling, and those steps, which are just before the bedroom.
So this isn't, that isn't the
This is-
driveway to get to the, where
No.
the stable was and where
This is the back of the house, looking down towards the picnic area.
oh, okay,
Oh,
Except the stairs aren't there now,
yeah,
right? Because we don't want people using that door.
Right.
So there's no stairs there, and those stairs were removed when they put the foundation in as well, but the door is still there.
And it goes into the first part of the house?
It goes into what we call our Arbutus Lodge, which is the room that has all the display cases in it, the glass cases. No, the table is the dining room, it's the next.
the
Dining
original
room,
cabin.
Arbutus Lodge